The story begins in the Scottish Highlands with a boy named Jimmy. His aunt and some kids were being brought there. She tells everyone not to leave the room. All the kids were scared. Jimmy tries to listen to the sounds coming from outside the door. But a bunch of zombie-like infected people show up and start attacking and eating everyone. They start killing everyone. One by one, people begin getting infected. Jimmy runs to his father at the church. He tells him that everyone is dead, but his dad doesn't care. He calls this day a glorious day. Jimmy's father gives Jimmy his cross, and then he too gets attacked by the infected. He also gets infected with the rage virus. Jimmy quietly watches it all happen. Then he runs away quickly. We're told that the virus has spread across the entire UK. And to stop it from spreading further, the British mainland has been quarantined. Whoever is still alive, they're now taking care of themselves. And the story jumps ahead by 28 years. Far from the mainland on a small island, people now live there. And among them is a boy named Spike, who's going to the mainland for the first time today to hunt. His father Jamie is getting him ready. And here, we hear the voice of Spike's mom, Isla. She's sick. She often suffers from hallucinations. Isla doesn't even know that Spike is going to the mainland today. When Jamie tells her, she gets angry and says, "Are you crazy? He's just a little boy." But a little while later, she forgets everything they talked about. Then a man gives Spike a bow. And Spike and Jamie set off for the mainland. All the islanders cheer for Spike and wish him luck. Jamie introduces Spike to the island's leadership community. Here, a woman named Jenny explains the rules to him. If you come back, that's great. But if you don't, no one is going to go looking for you. They've already lost too many people before. Jenny has the main gate opened. As they keep walking, we find out this is the only route from the island to the mainland. And it's only accessible during low tide. During high tide, the water covers this entire path. Because of the sea current, no one can swim to the island either, which means they must return to the island before high tide. They only have 4 hours. They finally reach the mainland. Spike is amazed by the vast land. That's when Jamie and Spike spot an infected human. They call them Slow-Lows. They can't walk, only crawl. Jamie says, "If there's one here, there must be more nearby." Jamie explains to Spike that his arrow won't pierce the chest, so he should aim for the neck instead. Spike gets ready to aim, but right then, another Slow-Low comes from behind. Spike shoots the arrow and hits the one in front, while Jamie kills the one behind. But there's also a small child with them. Spike stops Jamie from killing him. Jamie lets the child go. He compliments Spike, then says, "Let's go, or the noise will attract the others." As they move ahead, they see a bunch of deer running. There's also a house there. Jamie and Spike go inside. Jamie tells him to pick up anything useful. Jamie finds a frisbee. Spike had never seen a frisbee before. Then they hear a crow. Jamie and Spike see a man tied up. Spike is scared looking at him, but Jamie tells him to look. The man starts shaking violently. Jamie says he was probably left there to become infected, and now he is infected. Jamie tells Spike to kill him. The more you kill, the easier it will get. Even though he doesn't want to, Spike kills him. Then the scene shifts back to the island. Here, the other kids are also being trained for the same thing. Back on the mainland, Spike sees a deer's head hanging from a tree. Jamie sees this and immediately knows who's responsible. These creatures are called alphas. Jamie gets scared. They decide to head back. Jamie tells Spike to stay alert. They see some infected creatures walking in the distance, and among them is an alpha. Seeing that, Jamie and Spike run. Jamie tells Spike, "I'll take the first one, you take the second." But Spike can't do it. He's too scared, his aim is off. Jamie and Spike run further and try again. This time, Spike hits the leg, which is useless. They need to aim for the head or heart to kill them. Jamie and Spike enter a house. Spike fights the creatures on his own. They both hide inside the loft of the house. The story now shifts back to the island, where everyone was preparing for Spike's return party. Then we see that the alpha was lurking nearby, waiting for Jamie and Spike to come outside. Jamie tells Spike that alphas aren't like the others. They're stronger, and we can't fight them. We'll have to wait too. Spike starts blaming himself, saying it's all his fault. But Jamie reassures him, saying, "No, this isn't your fault. I've seen grown men terrified out there. What you did good." Later that night, Spike sees a fire burning far off in the distance. He asks Jamie about it, but Jamie says, "I don't know. I've never gone that far." Then suddenly, the herd of running deer comes back again. Their house starts to shake and fall apart. Jamie grabs Spike and says, "We have to run." They get out of the house just in time. They need to escape quickly, because the noise will attract infected creatures. Jamie checks the tide and says, "The water level is still low. We can get out of here." Halfway across, Jamie feels relieved, saying, "We made it out." But an alpha had been watching them the whole time. It starts chasing them. Jamie and Spike run. Spike struggles to keep up. The alpha is closing in fast. Jamie starts yelling at the guards to open the gate. Hearing him scream, the others come out and attack the alpha. But the alpha wasn't going to die from just a couple hits. People on the upper wall start shooting arrows at it. Jamie keeps shouting at Jenny to open the gate. But Jenny hesitates, worried that maybe they've been infected too. Jamie keeps yelling. Once they confirm they're not infected, Jenny finally opens the gate. The scene shifts to Spike's return party. Here, Jamie is praising Spike. He's saying all kinds of things that Spike never even did. Jamie is clearly exaggerating. Everyone starts celebrating Spike's return, but Spike isn't interested in any of it. Then Jamie goes off to the side with another girl. Spike sees him with her. She follows them, and that's when he realizes that his dad is cheating on his mom. Spike walks away and goes to Sam. He tells him, "I didn't even do half the things Dad's bragging about." Spike also tells Sam about the fire he saw by the far door. Sam tells him, "Maybe you saw Kelson." Sam explains that 30 years ago, Kelson was a doctor. Spike says, "But Dad told me all the doctors died, and that's why no one can treat Mom." Sam replies, "That's because Kelson is, well, kind of an odd man." The next day, Spike's mom's condition worsens. When Jamie comes by, Spike walks away from him. Jamie asks, "What's wrong?" Spike says, "Why didn't you tell me about Dr. Kelson?" Jamie explains, "He's not a doctor anymore. Years ago, we went to see him, and as soon as we got close, we smelled rotting corpses. When we looked around, there were thousands of dead bodies surrounding Kelson. We had no idea what he was doing with them. When he saw us, he even tried calling us over, but we ran away. And for the past 15 years, no one's gone back there." Spike asks Jamie, "Is Mom dying?" Jamie says, "I don't know." Spike replies, "If Mom dies, are you going to bring that woman into our home? What will her husband say?" Jamie slaps Spike. Spike goes upstairs to his mom. He pushes Jamie away and says, "Stay away from us." He even pulls a knife on his own father. Jamie leaves. Then Spike sneaks into the village storeroom by himself. He tells the man on the watchtower about the fire in the storeroom, gets him to leave, and then quietly takes his mom out through the gate. They make it to the mainland. Spike's mom says, "We shouldn't have come here." She starts calling for Jamie. Spike says, "He's not here, and we can't go back. We're going to see a doctor who can treat you." They slowly move forward. As night falls, they take shelter inside a house. Isla starts telling Spike about his grandfather, that he was really funny, and Spike has his eyes. That night, Spike stays awake to keep watch over his mom. But after all, he was just a kid. And sitting there, he dozes off. A slow low starts crawling toward them. It gets dangerously close to Spike's face. Cut to morning. The slow low is lying dead nearby. Even Spike's mom doesn't know what happened. That's when we realize she's the one who killed it during the night. Spike and his mom continue on. The scene shifts to a military patrol unit. They were on a mission in the area, but suddenly they were ambushed by a swarm of running creatures. There were way too many of them. Even with guns, the soldiers couldn't fight them off. 3 surviving soldiers try to escape through a tunnel, but an alpha attacks them. The alpha rips off one soldier's head from his shoulders. One of the soldiers barely manages to escape. Now we're shown another group of these creatures. One of them is pregnant. Meanwhile, Isla, due to her hallucinations, starts thinking Spike is actually Jamie. She starts talking to him about their childhood memories. Blood starts dripping from Isla's nose. That's when Spike sees a creature nearby. He kills it. But the noise attracts even more infected creatures. Spike grabs his mom and runs. To escape them, they hide inside a gas station. But this gas station is filled with toxic gas. They can't breathe inside. The creatures also come in. Spike fights them off. Then the surviving soldier shows up. He yells at Spike to duck and opens fire. The gas ignites, and the explosion kills all the creatures. Spike and his mom get out safely. That's where they meet the Swedish soldier, Eric. Eric, confused and angry, asks Spike, "What now? Are more creatures going to come?" Eric tries to calm Isla down and says, "I'm leaving." Spike says, "Go ahead. I'm not leaving my mom." Isla keeps calling Spike Dad, and Eric watches everything silently. Then Eric picks Isla up and starts walking. He begins telling Spike about himself, but Spike doesn't understand anything about the modern world. Spike asks, "Will someone come to rescue you?" Eric says, "No. This whole area is quarantined. No one's coming here." Then Eric says, "After we see the doctor, you both should come back to our village." Spike sees some of Eric's gear. Eric shows him a phone, and even shows a photo of his girlfriend. Spike asks, "What's wrong with her face? Is that a disease?" Just then, Eric's phone shuts off. And shortly after that, Spike's mom starts feeling normal again. She's able to walk on her own. As they keep moving, they hear a scream coming from inside an abandoned train. It's that same pregnant creature. Spike's mom goes in to help her. Spike and Eric follow behind. The creature gives birth to a baby girl, with Isla's help, and the baby turns out to be completely normal. Eric shouts, "You people are insane." And as soon as the creature stands up, Eric kills her. He even tries to kill the baby. Eric says, "This is a zombie baby. If you don't put her down, I'll kill both of you." That's when an alpha attacks Eric. Like with the others, it rips his head clean off. Spike shoots arrows at it, but they don't even faze the alpha. It sees the dead creature and gets even more furious. The alpha chases after Spike and his mom. It's almost caught up to them, when suddenly Dr. Kelson attacks it. He injects it with a sedative. Kelson says, "Don't judge me by how I look. I've covered myself in iodine to stay safe from the virus." Kelson even had a name for that alpha. When Spike asks him for help, Kelson takes them along with him. And that's when Spike sees large bone-made structures. Kelson tells him they're called memento mori, which means everyone must die someday. Death comes for all. They cross the river and arrive at the structures. Kelson explains that many people died here, and in their memory he built this bone temple. Kelson begins cleaning Eric's skull, and hands it to Spike saying, "Place it here, of your own choice." So, in the middle of everything, Spike places Eric's skull at the site. Kelson then asks Spike about the baby. Even Kelson is shocked to hear that the baby isn't infected. He says the baby needs milk. So Spike tells Kelson about his mom. Kelson checks Isla's condition. He doesn't have real medical equipment, but even from his observation, he can tell Isla has cancer. Either the cancer spread from her body to her brain, or from her brain to her body. Spike doesn't know what cancer is. They explain that there's no cure for cancer, and Isla will die soon. Spike is devastated. He pleads, "Please, save her." But Kelson says there's nothing he can do. Spike begins to cry, saying, "We went through so much to get here." Isla hugs him. She says, "The doctor can help me." But Kelson injects Spike with the same sedative. They explain to him that dying peacefully is better than dying slowly and painfully. Isla says goodbye to Spike and asks him to take care of the baby. Kelson ends her life and brings her skull to Spike, telling him, "Find the most special place for this one." So Spike places his mother's skull at the very top of the structure. But the next morning, the alpha arrives. Kelson hides Spike with him, but the alpha smelled the milk. He grabs Kelson. That's when Spike injects the alpha with Kelson's sedative again. Knocking it out, Kelson says, "I think it's time. You and the baby go home." So Spike takes the baby and heads back to his island. But instead of going inside, he leaves the baby at the gate and turns back around. He only leaves a letter for his dad, saying, "I'll come back when the time is right. Just take care of the baby." Spike names the baby after his mom, Isla. Jamie goes out to search for Spike, but the sea tides are too high. Then the story jumps ahead 28 days. Spike is surviving all alone. He kills one of the running creatures, but then more start chasing him. Spike starts running, and that's when the boy from the beginning of the story returns. Jimmy. Now all grown up, Jimmy has his full team with him. They help Spike fight off the creatures. Their way of fighting is brutal. They have no mercy. Jimmy meets Spike and introduces himself. He wears an inverted cross around his neck, and he invites Spike to join his team.